All right, I think we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. I have some background music on. I'm not sure if it's too loud. I have it quite low, so let me know if it's all right. But I do think we're live right now, so let me quickly share the links with everybody. Some alerts going off as well, which is always great. Yeah, I mean, the markets are bouncing quite nicely. Some coins actually do look... we might do some live trading, who knows. Let me quickly do some things here. Quite a lot of alerts going off. We might actually have some... great volatility to work with. Just sending links in the Telegram and the Discord, and then we'll get into it. If you're watching this after I'm live, so if you're playing it back, this is also very viewable because we'll just go over my entire analysis and we'll talk a little bit about the markets. So if you're watching this stream tomorrow or maybe in the evening or something, then this is still valuable, I would say. But we're going to get into it. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing this Sunday? The markets are well, I mean, they're not bad. I mean, Bitcoin is basically doing absolutely nothing, and the Bitcoin dominance is slightly bullish, but some altcoins are still performing. This morning, I made a video on Luna Classic. I'm not sure how many of you saw it, but that absolutely performed well. As you can see, broke above this range here. Major move. I wanted to get into this. We were talking about it basically the entire morning in the premium chat. I wanted to get into this, but it missed my entry. My entry was at like 9,700. And it went to 9,800 and then spiked up. So I might still get into Luna Classic a little bit later if we do get some sort of a pullback here. For example, if we let me zoom out a bit here. If we get some sort of a pullback into, I do think like the only region where it still makes sense is still this area right here around 9,700, right? Because there you actually have some decent risk reward. If you long it from 9,700, Luna Classic this is, and you have a stop loss at like 8,900, you still have a 2.27 risk reward, which is great. What's up? Yeah, it's cloudy here as well. It's last week. I think it's quite similar. I mean, I'm from the Netherlands, so yeah, no, here it's very cloudy as well, very rainy as well last week, which is always you know, you have to recalibrate or something. TP for Luna Classic. My main TP, first of all, would be this level right here, around 11,500. Maybe if you got a good entry, if you were in since I made the video this morning, maybe take some profits here because that's also a good move. It's up 10% or something from there. But yeah, so current levels is fine. I mean, you can see current levels also a bit of a resistance, but ultimately, I mean, we have a ton of momentum. Luna Classic at this point of time, if you look at the volume, like USDC has $116 million in volume the last hour, which is ridiculous. That places it in the top 3. So very bullish, right? So Luna Classic also at 50 million. So I do honestly think Luna Classic can go much higher than this. I mean, on the daily time frame, this is a small move. So I might even want to get in a little bit higher if we don't get a pullback. Anthony, thank you for the $5. That's very kind of you. Arrow, if it's going to have a big pullback, it's been performing relatively nice, right? I checked it earlier this week. Wow, Arrow did very well. look at this chart. A big pullback. I mean, it's let's see. We'll get into the, by the way, if you're watching this a little bit later, we'll get into my normal analysis in a moment, because that's what I wanted to do as well. Just go over all the coins I'm watching. And then a lot of the coins you're talking about, Popcat, People, Athena, Fetch, we'll talk about all of those, because here on the right you can see my watch list. We'll go over all those coins, all right? And we'll talk about potential trade setups, so that if you're watching this video, Celestia, Andre is also in there. So if you're watching this video later, you can also watch with me what potential trades I might take for next week. But first, let's get to Arrow. So we're on the daily time frame here. I mean, we are at a significant resistance level. Like, do you want a pullback to get in? Because then, honestly, for me, if I look at the chart right now, there's basically two ways to get in. You either try to get that pullback, right? So then you would say this is the bottom, maybe something like this. So then in the entry, let me check real quick. Then an entry, just in general, this area right here, between $1 and 90 cents seems great to get in, right? Because there you have a lot of psychological levels at $1, 90 cents. You got the 382 FIB. You have those EMAs kind of rounding out under it. So that would be a great buy area. Is it going to pull back here? I don't know. I do think so. It seems like this resistance level around 1.25 is a strong resistance level. Maybe spike up a little bit higher towards 1.35 before pulling back. We have broken above the 382 FIB here, so we're obviously bullish. So I wouldn't be too greedy. I mean, if you're looking for an entry, there's two good entries in my opinion. That's either the retest of $1, which seems likely to get in the next 2 weeks, I would say. Or just get in later if we break above 1.35. But that's the way I'm looking at it right now. I mean, if you want to be more certain about a pullback here, look at 1.15. Keep an eye on 1.15. If 1.15 breaks, then it's more likely that we'll actually get a pullback, because that's the 382 FIB of the entire move down. That's fair to assume that that's quite important here. So keep an eye on that. But that's those are my thoughts on Arrow in general. I mean, I looked at this back in September. I should have bought then. Overall, I've always been relatively bullish on Arrow, especially. I mean, if you want exposure to the base ecosystem, this is it, right? But all right, let's get started with the whole market analysis. All right, so Illuvium we might talk about a little bit later, Adnan. So keep that in mind. Celestia will get to. BNX, not sure. BNX is a bit of a scam coin. But all right, so the markets in general at this point of time, if you look at Bitcoin is not really moving. But what you do see is that the volume has dropped down a lot, down to 13.9 billion. So what I would be prepared for if I were you is the liquidity. I mean, if you look at this, there's just a ton of liquidity, both at like 66,000, a little bit above that, and at 65,000. So if you remember last week we got this, right? So this is extremely volatile. I expect something similar, and overall I do think it's most likely we'll pull back a little bit deeper with the entire markets. I mean, if you this is Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin looks quite likely that we're going to pull back, in my opinion. If you look at the altcoin markets, I also do think that a pullback into this support level, right? So this is the total 3, basically the entire altcoin market. We are bullish. We've gotten a big bullish breakout here, but it does look likely that we're going to pull back a little bit first before consolidating and going higher. And then once we reach that $700 billion mark, we'll talk again about where we can break above that. Maybe, but that's something for the future. So those are my thoughts in general on the market. I mean, I'm not too eager to open any trades into the new week. I usually am a little bit hesitant on a Sunday because of that volatility we can get. And the markets just have been very sensitive to Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin dominance here is trying its best to break out. If the Bitcoin dominance is going to break out, and if the Bitcoin dominance is going to rally here, altcoins will absolutely be demolished with every small bearish move from Bitcoin. So be careful for that. I mean, that's what we saw earlier already. If you look at the markets right now, some coins are still performing. A coin like BitTensor or Tau, Sui, XRP, Zero, those are historically quite uncorrelated. So those are still tradable, and an alert for me for Tau actually went off. Like if you look at this for Tau, this looks quite good, right? We actually gained some momentum, as you can see down here in the last hour. If Tau is able to break above 550, I'll consider a buy here, because you can see that we're gaining momentum while Bitcoin is also bouncing a bit, and we're trying to break some sort of a bearish short-term structure. So there are definitely opportunities. Maybe if we look at Zero, Zero is a bit of a different story, but Zero, you can find a similar setup, right? I mean, you have this low time frame bearish structure, get a breakout above $5 here, and it's golden for some sort of a scalp opportunity. Also gain some momentum, not as much as we did last week. Last week this absolutely crushed, but still gain some momentum. Has a very easy bearish structure to break through on the lower time frames. That's an easy scalp. If we do break out, right? Because so far we haven't broken out. It's just a solid move. It's a solid bounce here. So those are kind of generalities. I mean, XRP is still doing fine. XRP is actually performing relatively well. I am in the Telegram group. We talked about XRP. I opened a position on XRP as well. I know it's a little bit strange because it's not the greatest coin to trade. But if you don't know, the appeal deadline for Ripple and the SEC, I know a lot of you don't care about XRP and Ripple, but this is still an opportunity, right? But the appeal deadline is the 6th of October. So if we don't get an appeal, this will spike up. And it seems like some whales or traders are positioning themselves. And that's also why once we broke above 60 cents, the retest I entered. All right, so at this point of time, I am long on XRP. To enter right now, I think is a little bit late. So yeah, I'm not sure what value it has, but it's definitely a coin to keep an eye on. Athena hinted partnership with Ton. Can you share the link for that? Did I post that on X? Because Athena is a chart that I definitely have my eyes on. So a lot of you, yeah. So Tau is breaking out now. Yeah, I might want to take this trade. I'm not sure. Like something like this, right? So if I'd like to trade this, you trade the breakout of 550 or 545 with just a stop loss under the local low, and then some sort of a take profit here at 578. The risk reward is not great. Risk reward is 1.43. So this is technically it's a fine setup. Maybe I should have taken it a little bit earlier. It's a decent setup, so I might take this if the 1 hour time frame closes. So this is Tau, right? TAO. It's gaining momentum, so it's definitely interesting, but still a little bit hesitant on it for now. It's a Sunday, all right? Sundays are difficult to trade, not ideal. Price discovery in mid-October, good vibes only. I'm not sure. For now, I'm saying no. But Athena, we were talking about Athena. Excuse me. Wow. So Athena, I think is quite interesting, especially if you look at the higher time frames. Like if we're able to break above this level here, between 42 and 40 cents with Athena, it's already gaining some momentum. So in general, I do think if the market stays relatively bullish, like we might still have a pullback here, right? So we might still pull back from this level, drop into 34, 32 cents before breaking above it later. But if you zoom out here, and I have some beautiful drawings on the chart as well. If you zoom out here and we break above 42 and 40 cents, so just so you know, this is the ticker, right? Just so that everybody can follow Athena. If we break above 40 cents, like the potential is huge. Athena is backed by some huge partners. Like then I would expect at least a move into the listing price at like 65 cents. And that's already a 60% move. So Athena definitely interesting. But at this moment, to enter this, I would either wait for 40 cents to break or for a deep pullback into 30 cents. Let's talk about some other coins. So Saga also gained some momentum here. I think Saga in general, if you look at this structure, is quite interesting. Looking for an entry either if we break above $3 or if we get a deep pullback into $2. But Saga is definitely, I mean, this market structure is also great, right? Because you have these deviations down here. And then we settle on top of here in an accumulation, get a big bullish breakout with momentum, and now we're holding that very much as well. So it's just a matter of time before this breaks out higher as well. Breaks out above $3, and then all of a sudden we're at $4. Things can go very, very quickly. For the end of this year, Andy, I find it hard to say, all right, because it depends a lot on the macroeconomics. I think Athena can do great. My price target where I would sell is mostly 65 cents, which is very conservative, I know, and it can rally much, much higher. But at this point of time, like if we're talking about the macroeconomics, we're still waiting for the US economy to kind of do a soft landing, right? So that we don't get into a recession. And outside of that, it's also what's going on in the Middle East right now is also still a little bit worrying, right? So if that's all fine, etc., then Athena can go much higher. But the way I see it right now, I'm going relatively conservative with it. It's also relatively inflationary in terms of the tokenomics. So yes. No, let's get, a lot of you are requesting coins, and I love that. But let's start off with some big coins here, and just look at the charts and see if there's some opportunities. Solana. Let's start off with Solana. So Solana is pretty clear for me. I just deleted something I did not want to delete. Yeah, so Solana is pretty clear for me. We're now bouncing against that resistance here at 164. I don't think we're going to break it, but either a breakout above 164. So that's a major level, right? I mean, you can see that historically as well. If we break out above that with momentum, with volume, then I'll buy. For now, I think it's most likely that we'll pull back a little bit, right? So maybe some sort of an entry in the mid 140s is also an idea. Here at 148, we have the 382 FIB, and then you can see the trend kicking in around 145. So that's a possibility as well. But then I would like to see some sort of a strong reaction and a relatively bullish Solana against Bitcoin, right? If this starts to rally again, then I'll buy Solana. And then we can also break above 160. But for now, I'm not doing too much on it. Phantom looks good as well. I think the biggest breakout that Phantom got was this breakout above 60 cents. So at this moment, I'm quite a big fan of Sonic, right? So Phantom is rebranding into Sonic. I do think that Sonic is going to be a good blockchain, or at least a contender. It's going to make Phantom rally. But with me expecting a pullback from Bitcoin as well, I would say some sort of an entry around 60 cents on Phantom is most interesting. You can see historically that's a very strong level. We're still losing momentum. We still see a lot of people de-risking their positions for now. So get a pullback into that. Stop loss under 55 cents or something. And that could be a good trade, or at least that's what I'm eyeing for now. Ordinals, not too much I can say about this. This is still very early, right? This is just reversing. Broke above some significant levels here around $35, but still has something to prove. And still has some major bullish breakouts here around $42, $44 to really get bullish. Aave, very bullish, as you can see on the 3-day time frame as well. This is, like I bought this at $94 earlier in October. Has been ridiculously strong, but now it's losing some momentum. So maybe if we get a decent reaction here from 150, so if we drop down below 160, get some sort of a fake out, find support at 150, get the reclaim above 160, and then we can rally. That seems interesting. Outside of that, apart from that, not much at this moment. We'll just go to the coins that I think have potential. All right, that's better, I think. I think a lot of you don't care to look at all the charts. Let me know. Do you want to see all the charts here? I could show all the charts I have, right? So here you can see all the charts I have. Then we'll also talk about coins like Kaspa, Veracity, Pyth. But if you just want to see the charts where I think setups are close, let me know. Otherwise we'll just take a look at the coins that I think have potential, and your request. So someone was talking about Fetch earlier. I think an interesting buy on Fetch is also coming out soon. Here you can see Fetch, especially the level around 1.5. Purely technically, great area. Psychological level, you have the 382 FIB there. You have the entire trend coming together there. And it's also just in a very bullish structure, right? So Fetch is definitely one to watch. Render, like all of the AI coins, except for Fetch, I would say. But a lot of the big ones are right now at a little bit awkward levels, right? Because you have Render and you have Near, for example, both at very strong resistance levels. Near, it's 5.8. Render, it's this level right here at 6.8. So what we're looking for is either a strong continuation, so that render and near actually continue to break out here, break above 6.8, or for near it would be breaking above 5.8. If there's some sort of a strong AI narrative, that's a possibility. Today, the AI narrative, well, it's recovering, but that's mostly because of Tau, right? Which we looked at earlier. Tau is quite bullish here. Tau is getting that breakout, but render and near, I'm not convinced about. We either need to see some sort of a bigger pullback here for a good entry, to get an entry around $5 for near, or for render to get some sort of an entry at $6. Maybe 5.6 if everything works out. Otherwise, I'm just not interested in it. Or we break out, like I said. But that's, I mean, the breakouts. Then you have all sorts of, worries about it being a fake out, etc. Where you can do something like this, right? And this is not what you want either. If there's no AI narrative, then you can break out here, but then it can just turn into a fake out just as easily. So that's kind of the worry you should have with render and near. Ultimate, like long term, they're going to be great. Short term, yeah, a little bit difficult. We'll take a look at Tron in a moment, but Andy, Tron is always a difficult coin to analyze. I normally don't have it on my watch list. And then we'll take a look at Injective, etc. as well. But first, let's take a look at Tron. So I haven't taken a look at this in a while. I still have the chart though. Yeah, I mean, this is... yeah. Yeah, so Tron, it's starting to look like something again, right? You still have this resistance level here, which we need to break above. Let's say at 15.7 cents. But this is a bullish structure. I mean, that's for sure. The thing is that the momentum, like when Tron became very bullish here, what you saw is that there was a lot of momentum, right? So especially when we actually broke out above 14 cents, the open interest absolutely skyrocketed. And at this moment, you can see that the open interest is increasing, but it's still very low comparatively to the last time we rallied. So if we can actually see a continuation in the open interest increasing like this, and some sort of a structure break above 15.7, so if we're able to break out above this level here and hold it, then I do think we can shoot into the all-time high at 17.5 cents. But like I said, I mean, Tron, it's definitely not my cup of tea to trade. You can make a lot of money on it because it's also very uncorrelated to the markets. And I'm not sure how the chain itself is doing. Yeah, Tron itself... DEX trading volumes are down quite a bit, so it lacks the momentum, it lacks the fundamental momentum it had back in August. So yeah, if we're able to break above 15.7 cents here, sure, it technically looks good. Fundamentally, I would be a little bit more careful with it. XRP is absolutely gaining a ton of momentum here. So here you can also see the coins that are gaining momentum. Tau, XRP, quite a lot of momentum. Big Time as well. Yeah, Big Time. Look, Big Time, if we can break above 16 cents, that's great. But as long as we're below this level, like every buy is into this resistance, so that's not worth it. But XRP is absolutely killing it right now. Here, the last hour is very bullish. I would be surprised if we don't break above 63 cents here, because that's the main resistance level. And the momentum for XRP has just continuously gone up in the what is it in the last 2 days or so. Here you can see, I mean, the momentum is absolutely great. Is great for XRP. Gained momentum earlier this morning as well. Yeah, that's probably going higher. I mean, it's difficult to trade at these prices, but it still looks bullish for now. Alpaca is also gaining a lot of volume. I'm not sure what to say about that. Volume is still relatively low. Like, if you want a high risk trade, look at Alpaca, right? Because this is it's quite interesting here. I mean, there's you can see some sort of an accumulation going on down here, right? So then this is the main resistance level. So then if Alpaca here is able to break above 19 cents, then that's a major bullish breakout, and you can see momentum is going up here. So it's worth to keep an eye on again. This has, I mean, if you don't know, back in August this rallied a lot, as you can see. Already broke above the POC, so interesting. Still very early, I think, if we're going to break out, but I would wait for the breakout out of the range before doing anything. Skisol, if you want to invest 50,000, just do some just put it into a liquidity pool somewhere. There's no, at this point of time on a Sunday afternoon, I don't think you should invest 50,000 in anything. I think, and if you do want to invest it in anything, then pump my bags and put it in XRP. No, I'm just kidding. So Tau is doing quite well here. That's what we talked about earlier, right? With the trade. Yeah, look at this. Super bullish. I'm not sure if it's going to continue above 575 though. It's gaining quite a lot of momentum. It's also going to make higher highs in momentum, so maybe, but this it's going to be difficult, right? So this is Tau. So this is what we talked about earlier with the potential setup if we actually retest 550 here. Yeah, it could be interesting. Do I think Hamster would recover? Yeah, we'll just do requests from here on out. I mean, we covered not everything. I think is interesting. There are some interesting coins still. I think Hi-Fi is still something that will break out soon. Injective, someone talked about. Injective still looks fine in my eyes. It's relatively early to say, but we are. I mean, $24 was a strong resistance level for Injective, but I think it's pretty clear that we are reversing here, and as long as we're able to hold something like $21, I think this is still reversing from some sort of an accumulation / downtrend, which you could also call it, into an uptrend. So Injective still looks fine in my eyes. We might see some pullbacks due to what Bitcoin's doing, but outside of that, high time frame still looks great. Those are my thoughts on Injective. Yeah, let's talk about this narrative in general, because this narrative has been doing quite a lot, right? So then we're talking about Sui, Celestia has been requested by quite a lot of you, Sei, and Altlayer and Aptos. I think like these coins rallied a lot in the last 2 weeks, and I still think that there's potential on this. Aptos, as long as it's able to hold 7.5 here. Now, add to the Injective position, I'm not sure. I mean, personally, I'm already in with quite a lot of money, so adding to it will just increase my risk. So I don't want to do that. I mean, in the end, you can always be wrong as well. So I'm not going to do that, but it's fine to hold, and I do still think that it has a good possibility in the next week and a half to perform very, very well. But if you look at coins like this, Aptos got a major bullish breakout at 7.5. If this gets back to 7.5, you'd almost have to buy this. It's a great entry. You got a psychological level, you have an amazing key level, a high time frame, 7.5 you have the 382 fib, and all of these coins are very similar. Like if you look at Altlayer, got a huge bullish breakout here above 11.5 cents. A lot of confluences now in that entire area between 12 and 10 cents. Almost feels like a buy as well. Celestia is a little bit of a different beast, because Celestia obviously has those major pullbacks or those major unlocks coming out the 31st of October. I think that until the 31st of October, that is going to be bullish. But for now, if you look at the charts, especially on the daily time frame, it's still a little bit of an awkward chart. So Celestia, it actually even seems more likely short term that we are going to drop down, because we dropped down below $6 here. So far, we're respecting it. So ultimately, I do still expect some sort of a Celestia pump later in October. For now, looks bearish. Can change very quickly, but for now it really does. And then you have something like Sui. Sui is pumping again. which is typical. Yeah, that's also what you can see here. Sui, Tau, and Sei are performing very, very well. Celestia is also gaining some momentum. I mean, if Celestia gets that reclaim above $6, then it could be interesting. But for now, purely technically, it is bearish. But Sui, very bullish. But there's no real trade I think you can take on this. Same with Sei. Sei is very bullish, and it's holding this level here at 44 cents. But if you're going to buy it here, then you're basically longing into this resistance level at 50 cents. I think it makes more sense for Sei to wait for either some sort of a pullback into this very strong support level at 40 cents. As you can see, there's a ton of support there. Psychological level, 200 EMA, 382 FIB, filled with confluences, or wait for 50 cents to break. But at this moment, it's just, maybe I would buy this if it was on a Monday. But because this is on a Sunday, I'd be careful with it. Momentum is also still relatively low, so no, it's definitely bullish, and I do expect more bullish momentum. I mean, in the next month, I would be surprised if we don't break above 50 cents. I just think buying it right here is a little bit awkward. Hamster, someone also talked about. Hamster, just forget about this for now. It's very bearish. If Hamster gets some sort of a bullish breakout, then it's interesting. But outside of that, it's not great. Celestia has a token unlock in 2 days. It's not in 2 days, right? I thought it was the 31st. Oh. Yeah, I believe it's the 31st. In 31 days. But that's actually because a lot of people will be shorting this. I think that's more of a reason why it will pump, at least in the next 31 days. And then before that, we'll see. No, Sundays are not always bullish for Bitcoin. You can check back in time. I mean, it's usually, yeah, you get some bullish momentum, but not always. And what I said about hamsters is very similar to dogs. I mean, dogs at this moment is just very bearish. If we get some sort of a strong breakout with momentum, then it's worth it to try a buy. But that's not going on right now. So just forget about it. And then and keep an eye on the volume, right? Keep an eye on the volume, keep an eye on the momentum, on the open interest. If that starts to increase, it's interesting. Otherwise, meh. Alexa, time to short Bitcoin. I think the best time, if you look at Bitcoin here, like ultimately on the longer time frames, on the higher time frames, excuse me, the big question in the next month is going to be, can we actually break this structure, right? Because on the higher time frames, we still have a neutral structure here with a lot of resistance between 68 and 70,000. And I do think like what you want to see, if we actually want to see all-time highs, is that we get a breakout above this level here, right? So that we break out and that we then can actually get some sort of a big move into the 70,000s, into 82,000 up here. That's what you want to see. The question is, are we strong enough right now to actually do that? And I'm not certain about that. So what you could do is just also to hedge, right? I think it's a great hedge either way. So just place a short and then hold the spot portfolio. But then the best short position would probably be around 68,000. 68,000 with the stop loss above like 73, and then the take profit around 58,000. I think if you want to short Bitcoin, I think that's the best way to do it. On the higher time frames, short term, you can also after some sort of a liquidity spike up, you can also try some sort of a short. But personally, I'm not that interested in shorting right now, given the market circumstances, which I still think are bullish. Render we already did, but render in general, like I said, we're either waiting for a pullback or for a strong continuation. At the current price, I just don't think it's interesting. right? So either a breakout above 6.7 or a pullback into maybe 6, ideally 5.7, and those are the best, I think, at least, right? It's my opinion. I don't know everything. I do know that some coins are performing very, very well right here. Fetch, Tau, Sui. Tau we named in the video, at the start of the video, we talked about Tau. So you could have made some money on this. But personally, I did not trade it, right? So it's not fair to say. Thank you for the $5, Ainai Mampian. Excuse me for the name. Can you share with us how much your monthly average profit, and are you doing only trading for a living? I mean, in dollars, I am not going to share that, of course. In percentage, I think it's, I'm not sure. I think it's in percent. It depends per month, of course. At least 10% per month in these months, especially in August and so far in September, it's more. But it's not only trading for a living. It's difficult to say, right? Because I also do these YouTube things next to it, so it's partial. I could trade for a living, but I think this is more fun to mix up the trading with the other things I'm doing. Kaspa, Rowan, I was looking at Kaspa earlier today because Kaspa I do think is interesting, because what you see with Kaspa is that we're forming this very strong trend. This actually is quite similar to Luna Classic, right? I mean, Kaspa has been consolidating here between 17.5 and 14.5 cents. And what we saw earlier with Luna is that at some point of time, look, the price here between buyers and sellers is in balance, right? So the buyers and sellers are agreeing that this is the average price around the POC. But what you see is that at some point of time, when you have a lot of momentum coming in, like we saw with Luna Classic, a range like that is going to break and it's going to cause a huge move. At some point of time, Kaspa is going to break. The next time I think Kaspa breaks above 17.5 cents with volume, I think we're going much, much higher. So that is what you need to keep an eye on. I also, as you can see, have a price alert at 17.5 cents. But then we're at 20 cents before you know it. But until that time, we're in this balance, and you should wait for the balance to start cracking, and then there's potential. Yeah, Celestia, I already covered Celestia. I mean, a lot of people are asking for Celestia, but I covered it. I think it's bearish here. If we're able to gain some momentum and break back above $6 here, then it could be interesting, right? So something like this. But if we don't, it's just not interesting. For October, it's interesting. I think for October, if you buy Celestia right now, I'm willing to bet that Celestia will trade higher somewhere in October than now. All right. I do think Celestia is going above the $7. But no, until that time, I don't think so. And Jan, you did see me. You saw me. Because I did run the dump to download. So yeah, maybe I'll see you next year. It's on the planning again. But I did the run last week already. Time flies. All right. So is there any more? Is there any interesting to talk about right now? ICP. Yeah, we'll do ICP. I haven't looked at ICP in a while, so I'm interested to see what it's doing right now. No, this is what's this? This is Celestia still. Just clearing up my chart a little bit here. Yeah, pretty good. It looks pretty solid here, to be honest. I mean, look at this. By breaking above $9.4, $9, massive bullish breakout. Last time we did that was July, then it turned into a big fake out, right? This was basically a fake out, I would say. But this time around, I'm not sure what's the volume looking like. Volume is a bit low. Yeah, it's happening with low volume, so I would wait for the price to kind of settle above $9 here. I mean, ultimately, if you look at $9, the last time we actually broke above that and settled on top of that, so something like this, right? If we get something like this, then it's super bullish, and then we're going for that next target around 11.5. For now, I would still be cautious, because if this was a big bullish breakout with a lot of momentum, I would say it's great. And this is going up to 11.5 in the next 2 weeks. Now, because it's not with a lot of volume, and the momentum is also not necessarily something to write home about, I would say be careful. But overall, technically, purely technically, objectively, looks bullish. So yeah, I'll keep this on my watch list. I think it's interesting. But my watch list is getting very big already. Thank you, Yashika. Yeah, we'll cover a couple more. I mean, Ondo. I looked at this earlier last week, and I think Ondo is very interesting as well. Excuse me. Yeah. So what you can see here, gain a lot of momentum. See, Ondo, the thing is that the chart is just extremely weird. It's very difficult to kind of find the strongest key levels. So for me, it looks like on Ondo that if we're able to hold this level right here around 75 cents, that then it's golden, and that then we can actually get back into this major resistance level between 90 cents and $1. So Ondo looks good. It's just a little bit of a confusing chart to me. So that's why so far I haven't really traded it. I would say Ondo 75 cents. If we get a drop in there, that looks great. That looks like a great buy area, maybe just as a short-term day trade. But if we don't bounce from there, like World War III is happening. It's such a strong technical level that we should bounce from there. Ondo long-term is also great still, I think, even though we have suffered quite a bit in the recent history. Long-term, still think it's a decent project, has amazing partnerships. So that's what I think about Ondo for now. My personal plans on it, I'm not sure yet, to be honest with you. No, Nabi, I give spot and futures. It's my trades, right? So I take both spot and future trades. It depends on the markets. It depends on the setup, etc. So Floki, I was actually looking at this for a potential trade. It also has a check mark. I think Floki is very interesting here at this price level. So that's around 15,750, right? I think that's an amazing level to buy from for Floki. We broke out above this significant level here. You have the 236 FIB there, you have the 382 FIB. So Floki, I have my price alert set. If we get a strong bounce from this level here, I'm buying. It's compared to all the meme coins. I mean, meme coins have been ridiculously strong, of course, in the last couple of days, at least. And Floki is still underperforming, right? I mean, Floki still has a lot of potential compared to its competitors. So that's why I do think Floki, looking at all the other meme coins, is interesting. I do want to, with the possibility of Bitcoin pulling back lower in mind, I do want to see a reaction first, right? So this is the daily time frame. If we get some sort of a strong reaction from that level at 15,700 on the hourly time frame, then I'll buy. Otherwise, I will still be cautious with Bitcoin in mind. So yeah, Skisel, FTT is very bullish. I think it's because of all the news with all the paybacks, etc. But this is, in the end, this will always just be a scam. FTT is always going to crash down. So I would not buy this. It could go up 100% more today. It's always a possibility, but it's just not worth it. There are enough other trades with more certainty at this point of time. All right, we'll do Pepe. And that's going to be that's going to be the end of it. Excuse me. Demetrius, I do not think that it's going to be filled. And I covered Kaspa already, so you have to scroll back a little bit. Because my throat is getting extremely dry, so that's not going to be great for you. Pepe, very bullish on this. I think the lowest we go, if Bitcoin stays relatively bullish at least, I think the lowest we go is some sort of a pullback into 10,000. But if this reaches 10,000, I am buying. All right, it's just very bullish. Also with the daily time frame managed to close above 11,000 here, which is another bullish breakout after getting this significant bullish breakout at 9,500. So maybe some sort of a liquidity grab into 10,000. Probably going to hold 10,500 before heading up to 13,000 up here. And then we'll see what's most likely there. Probably resistance. I don't think we're going to break above that. But getting there, I do still expect. Yeah, so that's it for now. All right. Yeah, Tau is Tau exploding? Yeah, it looked quite good. Yeah, Tau is doing quite well. Well, unfortunate, we missed it. But this is also, like a trade like this is very hard to catch, right? I mean, you almost have to kind of scalp this on the 15-minute time frame to catch it. It's just a huge buys coming in. And at current levels, I wouldn't buy anymore. But if you stuck with us the entire stream, and the internet is also getting a little bit worse right now. If you stuck with us the entire stream, we did talk about this as it was breaking out. So yeah, hopefully someone of you took it, because I didn't. But that's it for now. How's XRP doing? XRP almost at the take profits, so that's looking good. Outside of that, not much going on. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you everybody for being with the stream. I'll probably be back next week with another stream or somewhere if we have some big moves. For now, have a great Sunday. Thank you for being here. Don't forget the giveaway I'm doing right now. If you go to the Telegram group, scroll in the pinned messages and you'll see the giveaway. Or go to the Discord group and there you can see under announcements, you can see the giveaway as well. There's $100 to win for 2 of you. So check that out if you're interested. For now, that's it. All right. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you all in my next videos or in my next stream. Thank you. Bye.